Meanwhile, there is a belief in Myanmar that this court decision will be a driving force for reconciliation and for unity. Let's get the views of political analyst Ebrima Chongan. Many thanks to you, Ebrima Chongan, for joining us on this hour. Let's get your reaction to the decision or the order by the International Court of Justice ordering Myanmar to take measures to prevent genocide of the Rohingya.
I think this is a positive step to stop what is happening in Myanmar, because everybody is aware of this gross human rights abuses there. And this is to be welcome. We thank the Gambian government for taking this case on behalf of the OIC and through particularly the Gambia's Attorney General Abubakar Batambedu.
All right, the measures imposed by the ICJ are binding and not subject to appeal. But one thing is sure, the ICJ has no way of enforcing them. So what does that mean for the judgment?
Well, I think the judgment is very important. We should not underestimate, the mere fact that Aung San Suu herself came to The Hague to defend this thing. I think this is the United Nations can help for the enforcement of the decision, and Myanmar also is getting out from the court, from its isolationist policies before. So I think this will stop it, and most probably there will be an investigation. And I think, I know the court doesn't have an army to enforce it, but Myanmar has obligations under the Genocide Convention, and also Myanmar is not an island. I think this is a positive step, and I'm very hopeful that positive action would be taken.
All right, the government in Myanmar has kicked against the judgment, saying that they hope to carry out their own investigation. What do you make of that?
Well, it's normal. They have always been defensive to say that this is an internal armed conflict, but we have seen the consequences of what happened. As you've rightly said, over 700,000 Rohingya people have fled to Bangladesh, and we have seen the images of burning houses, looting, killing people, etc. So I think the world needs an independent investigation to establish the true facts. This is not new. Since the Second World War, since the Nuremberg trials, international law has been evolving. We have seen what has happened in Sierra Leone, the trial of Charles Taylor, and the trial of the rebel leader from the Congo. And so international law has evolved. This is not just an issue for the Muslims. Human rights needs to be fought and condemned wherever there are human rights violations. And we are grateful for Gambia to be first time on the international map for the right reasons. And this is particularly welcome after what has happened in Gambia in the last 22 years under the dictatorship of Yahya Jammeh.
All right, absolutely. But what is shocking for a lot of people is the fact that the de facto leader of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi, is a peace icon, having won the Nobel Peace Prize. But having this situation in a country, a lot of people have are beginning to blame her for it. But we also know about the kind of power sharing agreement in Myanmar. So do you think that she should take any blame for it?
Well, I think she should take blame for it. I know the situation is very difficult in Myanmar. The army is still very powerful, and the new constitution they had, the army has some seats in the parliament, etc. But I think this is a moral obligation for her. When she was under detention, the whole world demonstration, the whole world fought for her, and she was given the Peace Prize. So I think she should have really took the bull by the horn and say it as it is. And so that there should be a negotiated situation where the Rohingya people can go back to their rightful place, and then this issue can be addressed through negotiation. But you cannot defend the indefensible.
All right. At the heart of this crisis is the refusal of the government in Myanmar to recognize the Rohingya people as citizens. They were even excluded in the 2014 census. What do you think can be done about that?
That is why it's important for the international community to be involved, to engage the Myanmar government, to engage the Myanmar government so that actions can be taken. We all know the history of Myanmar with the military dictatorship that was happening for long periods of time. So I think we need the international community to come to the help of the Rohingya people. They are part of that country. That is where they live. We all know the colonial legacy that we have, where borders that have been created, but those borders have to be respected, or there will be anarchy in the world.
All right, this is more like a provisional judgment. What more do you hope to see as this case continues?
As I said, I think the World Court, the UN has a major role to play here, and I just hope that the 5 permanent members of the United Nations will speak with one voice to make sure that action is taken. You know that under international law, the UN, there are provisions for the UN to be able to take action through the Security Council.
All right, political analyst Ebrima Chongan, many thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.